This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, everybody, it's Tammy here again, um, bringing up the same subject because I keep getting so many emails from everybody and people sending me attachments asking me about the all new, not new, brand new annuity.com and what I know about it. And apparently, they've been sending out a lot of marketing, trying to get agents to buy into whatever it is that they're selling this time. Okay, so I want to say, first of all, that this is my own opinion and it's not born out of any kind of sour grapes. Although most of you know I worked off and on doing projects for Bill Broich and for annuity.com for quite a while. I mean, going way back to 2007, 2008, right in that area. And I actually apologize to any of you that I lured into stuff like Safe Money Radio and all that other garbage. I mean, it, it's one of those things that it looked really good, but when I started opening up the hood a little bit and looking at the engine behind it, well, there was just a guy behind the curtain, and that was Bill Broich. You know, he's the Wizard of Oz, and so I didn't really find the substance, but I kept trying because a lot of these ideas are indeed good ideas, and I want you to know that you know it, in the right hands, all of this stuff could work. Okay, but unfortunately, being in the right hands is not an option. So, what I'm going to tell you is that, first of all, this is all my opinion, but please bear in mind this is an informed opinion because I actually saw the inside out of these projects. So, even though I had questions, they were never answered adequately. I went forward and tried to make these kind of things work because, again, I saw the potential, but the execution really, really sucked. So, I'm going to tell you this so that you don't get yourself ensnared. If you want to try any of these things out, it's up to you. But I do believe it's going to end up costing you, and you're going to have, if any results at all, you're going to have kind of fair to middling results. So hopefully you see what's on my screen, which is a little article called Eight Controversial MLMs Schemes to Stay Away From. And it's very telling, and I want to start with this because the very first one that's listed in this particular article, and trust me, this same name comes up in other articles, is beach body. Beach body. Have you heard of that one? Okay. This is important to what I'm going to tell you today because this is beach body. And it says the Time article that quoted the lottery statistic was part of a larger story about a woman who used the popular Beachbody program to lose weight and get in shape with very impressive results. Her physical transformation convinced the financially struggling mom to become a Beachbody fitness coach herself. Now, Beachbody is an MLM. Now, they try to, call it a direct selling, whatever they want to call it. It is a multi-level marketing. That in and of itself doesn't make it bad. There are actually some people that I personally know who have made money by doing the right things in the right MLM organization, right? So they're not all scammy, but not by far, but they're all a little challenging when it comes to how they're structured, right? So here's the thing. This particular woman, was paying $135 a month in fees just to be able to sell the program. This is Beachbody. Beachbody had some great results because they were able to get out there and advertise like heck. They knew how to do social media marketing. They poured a lot of resources, time, effort, tons of dollars into these targeted campaigns to get people to sign on with their program. And they were very successful and they made gazillions of dollars. Okay. Don't take any of that away from them. But again, when an article lists you as the number one to be avoiding, the number one to watch out for. Although Beach Body On Demand Interactive is a legitimate company, most who join its team are gone within 24 months. So that tells you something. Why is this important? Because let's just go out on the internet and see if it I need to make sure that everything's recording here. So let me share my screen, maybe share my whole screen. I'll stop sharing for just a second. Share my screen, and I'm going to share the entire screen. Okay. So I'm going to share the entire screen. Oops. Share my screen. Da, 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 da. No, I don't want 8 of the words. Okay. Because some of you are going to say right away, well, Tammy, you had some people recommended for Equus, right? That was probably a mistake on my part as well. Equus, like Primerica and some of the other organizations, are also multi-level marketing or direct selling organizations, but this time for financial services. Are they legit? Yes. Do they have some problems inherent in the MLM structure? Absolutely. For some people, they wanted to do this so they could have all the structure around them and people coaching them. I'm not saying it's good or it's bad. In my particular case, I was trying to do something with Oh Shit, I Died, and that was the requirement for me, was to be part of Equus. So yes, I have done these things before, and I'm speaking to you out of experience. Some are good, some are bad, some are really horrible. So Equus is another one. Now I've mentioned so far Beachbody and Equus, and there is a connection. And the connection is that I believe, because here's the deal. Let me see if I can get see if I can find one of the copies of the press release. Okay. Here's one. So hopefully this will show up on your screen and you can see it. But if you go out and you Google annuity.com press release, or you might have even gotten this in your email as part of their outreach to agents. Okay, so if you go on EIN Presswire, you'll find this. Annuity.com Inc. secures $15.7 million in seed funding to tap into the $1.5 trillion annuity market with innovative fintech. Well, there you go right there. You see a couple of things. One, you see innovative fintech. They want to dangle these things out in front of advisors like fintech and AI. And what does all of that really mean? Well, it's, in my opinion, just a big nothing burger. Okay. Innovative fintech means they've got some database management tools that they're going to give you, just like Equus does, and just like some of the other companies do. They're going to give or sell or require you license with them, whatever they, have production requirements, whatever it is, you're going to get access to their fintech, which is going to be, in this case, in my estimation, just a big giant database management tool and a drip system, which you could already have for a whole lot less money. But I digress. Okay. Now, this dude on the right that you see is Brett Blake. Brett Blake is a former Beachbody executive. There's the connection right there. Okay. So let's read what's going on with annuity.com. Okay. Annuity.com is a newly formed fintech and financial media company set to revolutionize the distribution of annuities. So it's an FMO, IMO, whatever you want to call it. It today announced it has closed on a $15.7 million seed funding. Okay, so they actually sold this domain, and the, in my opinion, crappy stuff that goes along with it. They actually sold this to this poor guy for $15.7 million. He actually paid. Where they got this valuation, I don't know. But all I can say is I got to give kudos to Bill Broich for being the best used car salesman around, because $15.7 million for basically nothing. Okay. And I know that for a fact. So the company will relaunch annuity.com as an education-focused consumer marketplace for annuities in the summer of 2024. So they're planning to revamp the website and try to make it more consumer-focused and drive traffic to it, and perhaps generate leads for some of the favored advisors. That could work with this kind of money behind it. If they use this money for that, they'll probably get lots of good leads, because that's the only way you can get them these days, is to go out and just throw money into the deep, dark hole of the internet. Okay, so led by CEO Brett Blake, a Harvard MBA, you'd think the dude would know better. right? You'd think he'd know better. But I believe that MLM mindset, the success he had with Beachbody kind of went to his head a little bit. And he's like, I can take this annuity.com, which is a nothing. All it's got going for it, ladies and gentlemen, really, is that it's old. It's been around a long time. And so it's got that street cred out on the internet for being an old site. So he's got an old domain name that he just paid 15 million bucks for. And he's going to take it and then use his Beachbody expertise for marketing and for creating buzz. And then he's going to lure all these agents away. Now, the fact of the matter is, you've already got somebody out there doing that, which is, of course, our friends over at Integrity, right? Integrity's been buying everything they can get their hands on. Integrity owns Equus now. I didn't know that when I started, but Integrity now owns Equus. So Integrity's even buying the MLM based. I wouldn't be surprised if they bought out something like Primerica in the future, okay? Something bigger. So they're basically trying to buy every financial services FMO, IMO out there. So this is conjecture on my part, but I'm thinking maybe he's positioning it so that he can eventually sell it. He thinks he's going to be able to sell it to the other players out there, Integrity, because Integrity, as far as I've seen, is pretty unstoppable when it comes to acquisitions. So maybe he's going to think, I'm going to plump this up. I buy it for 16 mil, put a few mil into it, then I'm going to turn around and sell it for $40 million to, I don't think that's going to happen because you have to actually have something of worth, right? You have to have agents that are producing. So that's another issue. They have to massively recruit agents and they have to get some flow. They actually have to get some money on the books. What are they doing for this? I think in the beginning, they were giving agents the opportunity to be founding members. Wow. So there was an investment on these agents' parts and they get a little piece of the action. But the thing is, as I explained in another video, I've talked to people who've been on Wall Street for a long time, and it's classic to pump and dump stuff. It's just the way they do it. So they pump up the stock, and then the only people that end up profiting are the first 3 or 4 or 5 people that invest. So guarantee if something happens and the stock is actually issued because they want to go public, if the stock is actually issued, this guy, Brett Blake, will get paid first, and then whoever his cronies are, and the individual advisors are going to get like what, a certificate with their name on it that says, good boy, thanks for investing, with little stars on it, because I don't see that happening, right? There's a lot of competition in this space, and there's already people out there like Advisors Excel and some of the other companies that already have a lock hold on some of these agents and their production, right? So, but anyway, the annuity market is underperforming due to a lack of consumer awareness. No, I don't think that's it at all. I think it's there just aren't enough good, solid agents that know how to sell them the right way. And it says less than 25% of the population even knows what an annuity is. Yeah, but it takes 2 seconds to explain it to them, right? I'm not saying that every product is, they're complicated, the individual ones, but the concept of an annuity is pretty straightforward. So he's thinking so you see this, and if you read this press release, and I do encourage you to read it when you get a chance, you'll see that the guy's thinking, I'm going to do a Beachbody type company for this. I'm going to make my MLM, annuity.com is going to become an MLM, right? That's what I see them attempting to do. Okay. That's what I see them attempting to do. I haven't seen anything out of any of these things, Retire Village or any of the other stuff, that really makes me go, wow, they're doing something innovative and different. No, I think this is going to be the classic pump and dump. I think they're going to get everybody excited about it. And then they may make a sale. They may sell to Integrity. They may do something else. But I don't believe individual agents are going to really profit. But I'll show you who might profit. Let me see if I can go to annuity.com right now. And let's see who's on board with this. meet our experts. What do you want to bet? It's kind of the same guys that have always been there and always will be there. And for whatever reason, they believe everything Bill Broich says. Okay, good enough. First, I noticed that Aegis is still somehow playing in the background. Now, my understanding was that Aegis sold out to Integrity. This is another reason why I think the ultimate plan may be to eventually get bought out by Integrity, just the way that those other MLMs did. Because why, if Aegis is operating under Integrity, why would Aegis still be involved in this? So we've got an Aegis person there. We've got, the usual Al Martinez and Barry Goldwater, Coons, Brad Pistol, Lyle Boss. You've heard these names over and over and over again. Chad Owen, Daryl Blackman, another Safe Harbor Benefit Solutions, and Daryl was also with Aegis at one point. So these are the same people over. I see only one or two new faces. And Roy Snar is a big one, right? Roy Snar is probably he probably put his whole life savings into this, thinking he's going to make a fortune. I hope he does. I hope he doesn't get screwed over, but not real confident. So what does this matter to me? Well, it matters only that some of my agents are rather confused and they are thinking about this because they're desperate, okay? And what I would say to you is it is better for you to invest in yourself than in somebody else's dream or pipe dream, as the case may be, okay? It's better if they're saying, oh, put $5,000 in or $10,000 in. It's better that you took that money and paid somebody, not necessarily me, anybody else, and build up your own brand and build up your own reputation and take the money and do like Teresa Kuhn. Go to teresakuhn.com, Kuhn. If you go to teresakuhn.com, you see a really nice website. She invested in herself. She wants to control her own financial destiny. She doesn't need these bozos, okay? She's just one. You should be like that and not be one of these me too people, okay? So that being said, you can see who's involved in this. And I want to take you back because my dear departed friend, I guess I should say his name, but his wife has asked me to keep everything kind of on the down low. But we'll call him Dave. Okay, so Dave came to me a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and he had been involved in trying to help sell annuity.com because Bill has been wanting to sell it ever since he got it. And unlike what he says in the other press release that you'll see out there, he did not scrape up money to acquire this, because if you know the whole true story of how annuity.com came to be back in the 90s, you would know that that's not true at all. That is a bald-faced lie. He acquired it, that's for sure, but not by scraping up money to get it. So don't feel like this is a rags to riches kind of thing, because it's not. It's more like, how can I take advantage of a situation? So that being said, anyway, I wanted to go over it with you because I want you to know that yes, I do take this personally. Not only because I know a lot more than I did in the beginning, and not only because I was absolutely subjected to some of the most heinous, vituperative emails, threats, the Tony Owen stuff, threats from Bill Broich. I was yelled at on the phone with horrible language used and all sorts of things. Yes, that's the personal aspect. That's why I've got a little bit of a issue with what they do, but also because so many of my advisors have told me how many thousands of dollars they wasted with these people and got zero results. So if they, God bless them, if they go out there and conquer the annuity world, God bless them. I hope they do. But in the meantime, you should be cautious. You should be cautious about giving them a single dime of your money. You should be cautious about getting into any kind of contractual relationship with them. Make sure you read everything. Supposedly they're taking over Safe Money Radio too. Supposedly they sold that. Okay. Now, this confused me a lot too, the Safe Money Radio, because a lot of people told me that Safe Money Radio was owned completely by Anthony Owen, and it had nothing to do with Bill, and Bill just kind of co-opted it. It may be the other way around. I don't know. I just know that their contracts really roped advisors in and constrained how they were able to market and things like that. So we don't want that, do we? Don't you want to stay independent? It's hard to do in this world. And most likely you're going to get with an FMO or IMO, and they're going to end up getting bought out by Integrity anyway. But I do think that you should have some choice. You should have some say in the matter. So if you're considering going with anything to do with annuity.com, I don't care what they tell you, annuity Beachbody, whatever they end up calling it, you need to do your research, and you need to have an attorney or someone that you trust really, that's good with business contracts. Look at the contracts, look at the organization, see if there's any substance there. Where does this valuation come from? Where do they get this number, $15.7 million? That's very bold, isn't it? I mean, you can think that your house is worth $4 million, but in the end, it's only what the market will bear, right? And the fact that somebody had enough money laying around, like this guy had more money than brains, doesn't mean that it's worth $15.7 million at all. So all I'm saying is go through everything. Understand that they're going to basically give you a site that's going to be written and generated by AI. That's not exciting. As a matter of fact, Google is already pushing back against that. You won't have unique content that is really yours. You won't have content that you can say, by Stan Smith, by Joe Blow. It will be presented by, and it will be an AI-generated fluff piece with no substance whatsoever. I can almost guarantee that. I'm already getting some of these. People are forwarding me the Retire Village stuff that they're doing right now. If they keep producing the crap that they're producing with Retire Village, it's going to be garbage. It's not going to be worth your time or your effort to do this. So I'm just telling you, be aware of this. Don't just think that it's Tammy. She's, sour grapes and she's just a sore loser. No, what we're doing at Safe Money Trends is more boutique, and it's individualized and personalized. I actually talk to my advisors, I actually have meetings with them and ask them what they want. Okay, if that is something that interests you, then call me. And if it's not, then fine. But at least you can't say you haven't been warned. I don't want anyone coming back to me in a year saying, wow, I got involved with that beachbody.annuity.com thing, and I wish I hadn't. I don't want anyone saying that. I don't want anyone getting taken advantage of, right? I don't want anyone that's new to our business getting suckered in. So this is why I bother making these videos. I hope that you got something out of it. And if you have any questions, please call me 951-658-0492 Monday through Thursday. Thanks.